Well, good evening, bowling fans. Tonight we have the great privilege of sitting down with one of the greatest bowlers of all time, a true pioneer in this sport, and one of the first international players to really dominate the PBA Tour. Has about 30 PBA titles to his credit, and we want to welcome the great Amleto Monacelli.
Hi Jay, how are you? I
I
hope
am
you're doing
wonderful.
great. It's a real pleasure to be here in this podcast, and it's an honor. Thank you.
Yes, likewise, Amleto. We're honored to have you part of the show. So, I mean, we were talking today, and there's some things, I guess, I've been doing a lot of research and trying to, I guess, really get into things. And there's some things that I was even unaware of until you and I had a chance to speak today. But really what we want to do is we want to tell the viewers and bowling fans across the country really what your story is. It's an amazing journey from beginning to where we are today. So what I'd like to do is just kind of pull up some of your career stats. Just let's start there as an overall, view. So take a look at those real quick. And of all of the things that you have accomplished, what is the one thing, I guess, that stands out as you're probably the most proud of?
Well, I'm proud of every single one because to me they represent uh, very small progress from the beginning, and the progress still going on as I go because I'm still bowling and working always. It's always a constant work, a lot of uncertainty with constant work. But the one that I would say it was my dream when I was 11 years old, and I can remember as I speak about it when I told my grandmother that I wanted to be the best bowler in the world one day, and I was only 11 years old. And the story started, it started right there when she told me, okay, anything is possible in life, dreams come true. Number one thing, just pray to the Lord. That's what you want every day. Don't forget. And I did it until that day came when I received the PBA, the PBA commissioner called me to let me know that I was the PBA player here in 1989 for the first time. So that would be the one that stands the most because of the story behind, it was 16 years later that I became player of the year.
Yeah, you mentioned today when we had talked, and it was so inspiring that, like you had said, that dreams can come true, and if you put your mind, body, and soul into something, it can happen. And I loved what you had mentioned today, and again what you just said now, that your mom and your grandma always told you stay true to who you are and pray for what you want, and it will come true if it's planned. So that was an amazing story.
Yes.
So take us back to where you grew up and really what got you and attracted you to this wonderful sport.
Well, I was 8 years old, and I was born in Barquisimeto, Venezuela. It's a small town about 200 miles from Caracas, which is the capital city. And my dad started bowling in 1965, if I remember well. And I was only 4 years old. And at the age of 8, he brought me to the bowling center for the first time. I never forget, it was a Sunday afternoon. A ball on lane, there's a small bowling center, it's only 12 lanes. And I bowled on lane 12. And my first game, I shot 94. I never forget that. And since then, I just fell in love with the sport. And every Saturday and Sunday, my dad would bring me to the bowling center. Um, and then at the age of 11, he built the bowling center, 16 lane center, which it was only 4 blocks away from my home, and I was there every day.
So it started at a young age. I mean, you kind of fell in love with the sport. And so what was the culture of bowling like where you were growing up?
So the culture was basically nothing back then. There's no bowling. People, very few people bowl as like as I would say like league players. Maybe it was like 40 league players back then. I can say exact what, but I know it was more. And then basketball. bowling was like probably like the number six of the most important sport in the country. Number one is baseball. I would say basketball and then soccer. So bowling wasn't even mentioned. Okay.
Oh, so you come from a sport that where you grew up had little participation. So how did you? I guess was the PBA a big thing where you grew up, and I mean, did people know about the PBA?
No, no, no. I found out about the PBA when I was probably 12 years old. I remember that maybe when I was 14, they brought Dave Davis to do a clinic. They brought one time Boss Fazio, um, Tommy Hudson. I remember those three came to the country, did a little clinic, and that's when I started, meeting the pros. But the way I started watching the pros was by VCR tapes. But the people that lived in Miami, they are from Venezuela, and they would register those VCR tapes, they make copies, and they sent it to me. And that's how I started watching, Mark Roth, Marshall Holman, all those guys who I idolized when I was small, Johnny Petraglia. And I just watch and watch and watch until those tapes they were not good anymore. That's how many times I watched them. Try to learn and pick things from them, like how to pick up the tempo and how to get, how to create hook in the ball like Mark Roth did, and just that's my best version came here, and I did my best version of myself by, working hard and just because I have a lot of passion. I really have a lot of passion for the sport all the way around.
Yeah, your I guess you called him your bowling dad or your bowling father is what you've referenced to Mark Roth before. And so when we come back here, we're going to take a quick break. And when we come back, we've got some clips of you going up against Mark Roth. So stay tuned, people. We'll be right back after these messages with the great Amleto Monacelli.
At Gateway Building Systems, we provide unmatched service to all of our customers. Butler Builder understands this. We combine creative design capabilities with superior workmanship to deliver optimal building solutions. Our team provides insight that takes you from the ground up to build your future. Gateway Building Systems and Butler Buildings are designed for strength, durability, and longevity. We are here to build your project and maintain it for the next generation.
Experience the homegrown goodness of Cass Clay Country, where life is made sweeter and healthier. For over 85 years, we've been crafting delicious dairy products from local farms for local families. Our recipes only use the freshest ingredients, from milk and butter to ice cream, sour cream, and cottage cheese. You can rely on us for superior quality and taste that your parents and grandparents will even recognize. It's a difference you can taste. Cass Clay, homegrown, pure goodness.
Welcome back to more Difference Makers here on BEK TV Plus. I'm your host, Jay Fettig, and we are joined again with the great Honorable Mr. Amleto Monacelli. Thanks again, Amleto.
You're welcome.
So at break, we were talking about how you wanted to pattern your game after one of the all-time greats and someone you have referred to in the past as your bowling father, and that was Mark Roth. Tell us about that story again.
Well, Mark Roth, was the one that I was watching all the time, most of the time. I remember the VCR tape. He was bowling against Warren Nelson in Reno, Nevada. And that tape, I watched and watched and watched and watched over and over again, just to try to see how I'm gonna emulate his style somehow to create, my own personal style, trying to get the power in the bowling. Basically, I wanted to be powerful because I saw most of the guys that were very down in the very straight, and that was pretty boring for me. I didn't, I didn't want to throw the ball straight. I wanted to hook the ball. And Mark Rowe was the one that was the most powerful back then. One day, when I, at the later age, when I had a chance to go to the U.S., and I met in the Brunswick World Open. I met Johnny Petraglia. Dave Davis already met me when I was 14, so he was like the contact to meet Johnny. And then we went to dinner together with the whole group because back then they have 32 spots that people from all over the world they win a spot. You have to win in each country, and when you win the spot, you can bowl the Brunswick World Open. This is from was 1978. So I qualified first. I went to the Brunswick Open, met Johnny and all that, and then I said that I wanted to go to his bowling. I think Dave Davis had a bowling center, 16 lane center in New Jersey, and I wanted to go there and drill some bowling balls. And actually, I flew in 1979 to do some bowling balls. Mark Roth lived in New Jersey back then, so he happened to bring Mark Roth as a surprise, and we happened to bowl a game together. I never forget that. That was the biggest moment in my life. And then after that was like, that's it. This is what I want to do. I wanted to be a professional bowler.
Wow, you know what's kind of funny and full circle is, as you say, you got to bowl against and next to Mark Roth. I will share a story as I did to you earlier today. I got to bowl against and next to you at the Senior Masters last year, and it was a very big moment for me, just to watch you handle yourself. That was something that really stood out, and it was just an honor. It really was. So your first tour win, or your first professional win, actually came in Japan. So tell us what you remember about that.
What I remember about the Japan Cup is one thing. Before the Japan Cup, I have made 16 TV shows in which I finished second 7 times with no wins. And when I go to the Japan Cup and I end up winning the tournament, that was my first title. It was really big for me to believe that I can win because I finished 7 times second. Sometimes the bowler I bowl against bowled way better than me, and I didn't bowl as good. Sometimes I bowled really good, a little bad break. And couple times I got nervous and threw away the title. I can't remember well, but I remember one of them. And I said, okay. And I told my dad, I don't know if I don't know if I can win because it feels like it's something always happen at the end. He said, don't worry, finish second every time. You're making money. He always has something positive, optimistic to say to me, and from the whatever my thought process became a little negative, which I never processed like that, but sometimes I did. And he was the biggest inspiration because he always has something positive to me. And when I won Japan Cup, no, okay, now it's like great, I won. But then I said, okay, I bowled against 32 players, 31 players, me and 31 more. So, do I consider that really winning a title? Yes, it's a title. But, to me, I needed to win in the US because that was the biggest field. And then after that, to prove that I can really win against the whole world, right? The best bowlers in the world. And that happened in 1988. And I happened to bowl against my idol, Mark Roth.
Yeah, we actually have video of that. So I pulled that up for us as well because that was really an exciting match. And so we've got where it was coming down to the wire, and if I remember correct, he had to strike and then throw a strike and need 2 pins or something like that. Again, I could be wrong on the details, but here he's up, and you'll watch, and I don't know if he just amped up or what happened here, but he just threw it a little wide and didn't get done what he needed to get done. And then you come up on the next one, and you need 2 strikes, I think is what it was. You needed 2 strikes or 2 pins for the win. Yeah, that's what it was. You needed 2 pins for the win.
At that point, when I threw that shot, I already won. And I just needed to get the ball down the lane. The big thing about that match that most of the people don't know, is that when I bought that tournament, okay, you had to remember that back then they had some, we didn't have lane machines. So they were doing the lanes by spray gun, okay? And remember the story about 16 shows, no win. One of the stories that in every show I went, I can count maybe two or three of those 16 shows that the lanes were exactly the same, and the other times completely different. So when I went to bowl, me being new, naive, or couldn't believe that they would try to do something different on the lanes. And I said, maybe I just thrown the ball bad, and not doing well today. I don't know what happened. I don't see the ball motion I had for a week and all that. But then, we found out was then that, and I said to the guy when I walked to the bowling center, I said to the guy that was in the lanes back then, said, listen, I don't care what you do to the lanes because I know I'm gonna win. So I'm gonna, my deal is how I'm gonna beat the lane that day. And when I went to the show, the first match that I bowled in that TV show was against Kit Linton. I win the first game 163 to 157.
Oh, wow.
And I said, and I was bowling the way I bowled, with trying to, hook the ball like I did all week. And I said, you know what? If I keep throwing the ball like that, I'm not gonna be able to win. And I said, I'm gonna move 10 balls right, 5 balls left with my eyes, pick up a black, I think it was black U dot shiny, and threw just straight down third arrow to the pocket, pick up spares, and try to win. That's what I did. I never done that in my life. Because I said, I'm gonna throw the ball like I throw my 10th, but I'm gonna throw it like right down the middle third arrow, and end up winning that way. That's not my style. That wasn't the way I ball. That was the first time I ever tried it, and I won. And that's the story behind that. And
See,
after that, I said, I can do anything. I'm gonna hook it. I'm gonna do anything to be able to win.
That just goes to show you the versatility that you need to win at the level that you did. So, folks, stay with us. We're going to take a quick commercial break here from our sponsors, and when we come back, we're going to hear more of the great Amleto Monacelli story.
Relationships founded on trust. That's how Lux Wealth Advisors was established, and it continues to be paramount in everything we do. Our professionals are here to make building wealth simple and straightforward for anyone. Whether you're just starting out, nearing retirement, or you're someplace in between, we'll take the time to accurately assess your current financial state, then design a tailored plan to help you achieve your long-term goals. Lux Wealth Advisors, the right answers for financial independence.
Mandan Sporting Goods' new location means new inventory and even greater commitment to supporting your Second Amendment rights, which reads, a well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state. The right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. Whether you're wanting personal defense weapons, collectibles, or simply the area's largest selection of ammo, reloading supplies, and new line of fishing equipment, the team at Mandan Sporting Goods will help you find what you need. 206 4th Avenue Northwest.
Hello, bowling fans. We're back here on BEK TV Plus with more difference makers and the great Amleto Monacelli. Thanks again, Amleto, for joining us this evening.
My pleasure.
So you don't get to be as accomplished as you are and for as long as you have been without maybe a little good luck and good fortune, but also more of a commitment to keeping your body free from injury and in good top physical shape. So I know you've made a long career and commitment to that. So tell us what your magical story is on that.
The magical story starts because before when I was bowling at the age of 11, I was already playing soccer too. And when I decided to go on tour, I wasn't training like a soccer player. But when I was in Venezuela bowling, I was training like a soccer player. I was doing stuff. When I went on tour, I felt like I was missing something, and I said, you know what? I had to see how can I get an advantage over these guys. And I know I can tell you, I don't think anybody worked out. And if they did, it was maybe 1%, maybe half percent, because I never seen anybody. And I thought, and I put in my mind, this is going to be my advantage to beat these guys. And I put that in my mind, and as I started with a commitment, and I'm finishing with consistency. And I worked out every day. I was jumping rope, I was running, I was doing weights, I was doing calisthenics. Right now, and I run for a long time. Then now I don't run for the last 5 years probably because I changed my workout routine more for strengthen all the muscles. But I was trying to get more in shape back then with the legs. Because when we were bowling back then, we were bowling 42 games a week in a short tournament, 56 games in long format tournaments like US Open, Masters, all that. And we bowled 6 games in the morning, 6 games at night. The amazing things that was so important for me because my style wasn't the same like everybody else. My style was very powerful, which needed more strength, more muscles to be used, especially from down body of the part, which is your legs. And in the second round, if I would like to look the statistic of my second 6 games at night, and I believe my average out average the morning session at least by 15, 20 times. Everybody was dying at night in the 7, 8 games. They were down the hill, and I was coming up strong. And that was one of the key of my success. So to me, physical training not only helped me be physically, but mentally, because the dopamine that you get out of the working out strengthening your mind at the same time. And I was able to stay focused, alert, concentration, without without getting into any desperation at any point, just because of that. So I am a fanatic of working out. As far as like when I say fanatic, I'm the type of person that religiously 5 days a week I am working out hour and a half, strengthening my body, whether it's calisthenic weights and all that. And that's because overall, as if you are as a regular person, it's important, but when you are an athlete, you need it even more. And I think this is what we need, my personal opinion, seeing more people doing this. I think bowling can get it to another way of seeing it, because I don't like the way people perceive bowlers. We don't have the respect with it, but we need to work for that respect.
I couldn't agree with you more on that statement. And what's amazing is over the years, as you mentioned your style, we have a video of you in with your, showing your 1987 style, and how you're right, it comes from your legs, and just how much power you generate from your lower body. And then comparing that to your current style. So you overlay them, and here you are throwing again, right? Your style has not changed.
Yeah, I mean it does change because the game evolves, but now my arm swing is not so open. My hips are less open. It has changed a lot from like if we put my style right now, it has changed a lot, but it's all because of the lane condition, the oil, the type of oil, the bowling ball. So it's always evolving. So I'm always working on my game overall, because you have to. It's impossible not to. And I enjoy it. I'm a growth mindset. I'm not stopping. I'm just want to learn. I want to compete with the kids and feeding. I'm going to bowl the Masters this year. I just want to enjoy bowling, and I want to I want to be the best version of myself, always.
Well, you know, you take a look at, and really that's meant to be a credit to what you have committed yourself to, you know, your entire career, and that is to keep your body strong. Is you're right. I mean, the equipment maybe has forced certain things to change, but that just shows that you're capable of making those changes physically.
Yes.
Yes. And if your body and the game, or if the equipment said, no, you got to stay the same style that you did in 1987, your body at your current age would be capable of doing that. And
Yes,
that's what
and
I'm just giving you a compliment on.
that's a good point. And this is the point that I see. And people, a lot of bowlers, I feel that they don't get to feel their body at one point or another. But there are times that in as a soccer player also, there are things that you want to do, and when your body doesn't allow you to do it, it's because you're not in shape.
Yeah, definitely.
They don't realize. They don't realize. They go for another bowling ball.
Yep. You know, and with this short amount of time that we have had today, your story deserves so much more, and we intend to get that out there. And one thing I want to make sure we get, you know, mentioned today is that you wrote a book. And if you don't mind sharing the title of that book with us in the last 15 or so seconds that we have, and we're going to come back to more.
Okay.
So the book, go ahead.
Okay. 2020, when the pandemic came, I wrote the book. But I was hearing about a lot of people, friends of mine, that say, you have to write a book, you have to write your story, because it's very unique. And I think it could be it could be very motivational for people, the kids that are growing up. And it definitely is. When you read that book, you can tell what I went through, all the ups and downs, how from another country that, you know, don't bowl, come to another country and try to beat them. It was, you know, one thing is bowling today, coming from another country. Now it's easy. You know what I mean? It's not, you know, you see people from all over the world now. When I came, I was the only foreigner. And then 2 years later, Matt Carlson from Sweden came out. And that's it. And then I think he bowled for 5 years maybe, and then he left. But it took a long, hard work, you know, mentally to be able to compete with these guys. And it wasn't easy. I went through a lot of races, you know, people, you know, I remember bowlers telling me, you know, get your banana boat and go back home. You're taking the food out of my house or something like that. And you know, it was hard, but thank God most of the time I didn't understand what we're saying, because my English wasn't as good. And I ignore, you know, I just smile. That was the only thing I can do, just smile. What can I say, you know? And but you know,
Well,
but here I am. I think it's a story that needs to be talked. The book name is Dream, Believe, and Do It. Dream, because everybody have a dream. Believe, because believe is very powerful, and just go and do it. Put the action on it. And that's why I called it like that.
Yeah, you are a true inspiration to many, even outside the sport of bowling. And folks, that's going to conclude today's show. And I do ask you to stay with us over time, because as Amleto's story cannot possibly be told in one 30-minute segment. And we plan to have him back for many more to really dig down deep and hear his whole story. So we want to thank Amleto again, and we'll be back after these messages.
Hi, I'm Katie with First Community Credit Union, and we're here with Angry Beaver Tree Services in Devil's Lake. What do you love about FCCU?
I would say it's an organization that's willing to go above and beyond to take care of the community needs. People are very friendly to work with, and they're always willing to go the extra mile to ensure that what I need is being taken care of. I love the friendly people, and like I said, I can walk in there and talk about getting a loan, and they're always willing to sit down and work with you right away. I mean, the process is fast, people are friendly, and it just doesn't get any better than that.
Are you looking for something special or one of a kind? At Bassett Motors, we can help you find exactly what you want.
Come on in and experience how small-town hospitality and personal service can make car buying a pleasure.
We know interest rates are important to you. We have multiple lenders to negotiate your lowest payment.
Visit us on Highway 281 in Carrington, North Dakota, and online at BesetMotors.com. Beset Motors, where our customers send their friends.
Welcome to the world of exceptional care and well-being. At Chubby Health, we believe in nurturing your body and mind and maximizing your potential. Trust our dedicated chiropractic team and the expertise of our skilled physical therapist. Embrace the future of rehab with stem wave therapy. Restore your body's natural energy flow with acupuncture and discover the power of nutrition with our expert doctors. And don't forget our specialized prenatal and pediatric care services. Put your health in good hands with Chubby Health.
At Gateway Building Systems, we provide unmatched service to all of our customers. Butler Builder understands this. We combine creative design capabilities with superior workmanship to deliver optimal building solutions. Our team provides insight that takes you from the ground up to build your future. Gateway Building Systems and Butler Buildings are designed for strength, durability, and longevity. We are here to build your project and maintain it for the next generation.
Well, folks, thank you again for another episode of Difference Makers. We want to thank Amleto Monacelli, and next week stay with us as we bring the great Pete Weber on, and we want to thank our sponsors. We want to thank Turbo, I Am Bowling, Brunswick, Hammer, Farmers Union Insurance, and the X League. Stay tuned for next week with Pete Weber.